Let me show you how to make 20% more than the average Uber and Lyft driver in your city. Join me. I'm going to walk you through 20 different ways you can make more money with Uber and Lyft. I get asked that question all the time, especially because people's earnings are coming down, right? It's more competitive, more drivers on the road. People are craving for new ways and better ways to make more money. So I took the time, I jotted down 20 points. I'm going to share them with you right now. This is going to be a very long video, I'm going to warn you, but it's going to be well worth listening to these 20 different points because people will not give you the recipe. I am sharing with you my recipe and the recipe that I share with all my drivers that lease cars from me. Okay, so the one thing now you have to take into consideration is that Uber has changed their reward program to a guaranteed program. What is this all about? If they say we're going to guarantee you $600, right? That's what they're going to guarantee you, but you got to do 50 trips. In those 50 trips, you have generated $450. They will only guarantee you the difference between what you've generated from the 50 trips and the $600 promise. They are only going to pay you out $150. Gone are those wonderful days, those 5 last years where you were making big bank with your referrals. Okay. I have seen referrals drop, and the pros out there know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So this is how you trick the system a little bit. You don't go out there in the early morning and do those long runs that generate big numbers. And I'm talking, let's say $15, $20 with X and $120 with an SUV, right? You go out there mid-afternoon and do short trips. People that are taking lunch breaks to little restaurants around colleges, just short little trips. You want to accumulate as many trips as possible, the 50 as fast as possible with the least amount of earnings. So let's say you are now generating $250 because you're timing your trips at different times of the day. The difference between $600 and $250, now you're getting paid out $350 versus that $150 scenario that I just showed you, right? Okay, so pay close attention to that. The other thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you are starting and you have your own car, you have your own Prius, fantastic. Put it into good use, get going right away. If you have to rent or buy, run to Hertz, run to Enterprise the same day, play them up against each other and say, hey, listen, this guy said he would do it for 180. This guy said he would do it for 160. Can you match it or can you go better? Right? You want to get that process done as quickly as possible, and you want to get on the road as quickly as possible. You don't want to waste time here. If you are dragging your feet on this process of getting a car, let's say 2-3 weeks down the line, you've already lost $2,000, $2,500. If you do get a rental, put in the maximum amount of trips in 2 months. Set that money aside so you can now move and buy a used car, buy a new car with a down payment, okay? Or you can negotiate a great unlimited lease with the dealership, right? So that is where you make a lot of extra money as well. Number 3, and I jotted these down this afternoon at lunch, and I said to myself, I'm going to make a video about this. I always say work smart, don't work hard. Let me get that right. Work smart, don't work hard. Why break your back, put in 60, 70, 80 hours per week, some people do, when you can do 40 to 45 smart hours? That means working at the right time of the day, hitting the surges, hitting the right areas at the right time of the day, starting the day in the right neighborhood, the right hotels. You can truly make the same amount of money that you do with 45 hours versus 60 hard-worked hours, okay? What do I have down as number 4, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, the registration process, when you're registering and you've just signed up, don't waste time. Get your insurance papers uploaded, get your DMV documents, your car registration documents uploaded, submit your documentation for your background check. You want to be on the road in 3 days. You don't want to drag this process. I have seen people drag this process out for weeks and weeks and weeks before they get onto the road. They have lost a lot of money. I want to show you how you're going to put more money into your pocket at a faster rate. Okay. We then move on to the one that I love. Okay, I call it tips after trips. And there are so many UberX drivers out there say, well, UberX passengers don't tip. Not true. If you are putting in the effort, okay, and you showing your A game, 5-star game, you should percentage-wise have more tips over a 1-year period versus a guy that's driving around with a 4.6 or 4.7 rating. Okay, and the platform that we just introduced, pitchin.com, gives you a tiny little badge that you can put behind your seat where the people can scan and immediately give you a donation or a tip. Okay, so we brought out that to increase the tips, especially for UberX drivers. Check it out, pitchin.com. I'll mention it under the video. I'm going to shoot on to the next point. Okay, how do you get those highest ratings and maintain the highest ratings? Well, I have many videos talking about ratings and how to get the high ratings, right? You know, I want to see you in at a 4.9 or 4.85 and higher. I'm not happy if you're telling me you're coming in at 4.6 to 4.75. I can guarantee you can improve your game. When you improve your game on ratings, you will make more tips, okay, over a 1-year period. You will also get privileges extended from Uber. For example, if you're an SUV in black, and you have a 4.85 or 4.9 or higher, they will open up a whole new section to you, the select section. So suddenly now you're in 3 or 4 platforms, okay? So they reward high ratings. They want top drivers. How do you get high ratings? Manners, 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 going out of your way to make that a super special experience. I don't have to explain more. There are tons of videos out there, right? Okay, now, you want the next point. You want to get prepared before you take that first trip, right? I say, you know, preparation is king. So, you know, why spend months and months figuring this all out, okay, when you can start taking a video course or learn or go and watch videos and videos and learn, accumulate all that knowledge before you take your first trip. Don't just sign up, get in the car and then, how do I figure this all out? No, go in prepared. So the more prepared you are, let's say you've watched a lot of videos and you've done a video course. For example, we offer one on Rideshare, drivingschool.com, and you go in a little bit more educated than the average driver, right? And you are, from day one, you start making more money. You know, not that a week or 2 weeks later, oh, you know what, I really didn't know about this certain thing. Oh my gosh, what do I do there? You know, so I don't say like learning by doing as you're driving, but learning by doing, by studying the resources and the materials that are out there so you go in prepared, okay? Another great one, airports. Okay, airports are fantastic, especially if you know where your hotel districts are and you can capitalize on early morning runs to airports. And then maybe after you've dropped them off, you go to the holding spot, sit there and catch the next trip out, right? You got to mastermind the times here. Okay, when do, you know, most of the people leave? Well, they get up very early in the morning, 5 to 6 a.m., and they pack their bags and they're off to the airport. So are you ready for that crowd? Okay, are you ready for the guys that leave in the late afternoon or Sunday afternoon because they have Monday business meetings? So airports are crucial, you know, to know, when do I go to the holding spot? When should I wake up and get the people to the airport and get more trips of that nature? Okay. Tourists, right? If a person tells you, if you're in a conversation and you notice a different accent, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from the Denmark or Germany. Oh, cool. How long are you out here for? Great. Where are you going to be? Ask them the questions. Now, on that first trip, try and be a tour guide. So, you know, over here we have the Hollywood Bowl, and this is how the city is laid out. That's where the beaches are. And that over there is the South Bay. And this is the business district. Just behind that hill there's Universal Studios. And then you can, if you want to go down to Orange County, there's Disneyland. You tell them about the city, and they may reward you with a tip because they feel like you've been a tour guide, right? But the most important thing is to establish that friendship and say, guys, if you're in town for the next few days, allow me to drive you to some of the other places if you have that on your list, right? You want to get repeat business out of a tourist. I always do. I always work a tourist to the max. I extract the maximum information and get the maximum trips out of a tourist. Okay. And so I'm going to take you on to the next one, hotels. Know those hotel districts around you, right? Because usually you could have a couple of high-end hotels. Let's say I'm in Beverly Hills and Wilshire. There's several hotels there. Or you have a business park like, round about Warner Brothers and that. There's several hotels. Those are great starting points in the morning, especially on airport runs to pick up people because you're right in the midst of several hotels. So figure out where those cluster of hotels are in your city. Figure out what the best times are. Hotels mean money. Hotels mean luggage. You pick up luggage and usually you should be rewarded for carrying, lifting, and unpacking. Okay, so now I am going to move on to the next one. I'm sorry, I'm rushing you through this, but I actually have a meeting a little bit later, so I'm going to make this video super fast, right? How to build repeat clientele. Again, I've spoken about this in many videos. You hand out your business cards. Your business cards have to have your face. Your business cards have to have your picture of your car so they know, oh yes, that's the guy and he or she drove me with that car, right? I always tell the people, give me advance notice and I will give you a slightly better rate, or I'll give you an incentive on a long trip if you book me in advance. So if they give me at least a day advanced, I will be there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You then make the request. I am right there, so I can accept the request because I'm the closest to you at your hotel or your house, and then off we go. That's how I get so much business from repeat clientele, ladies and gentlemen, and I print business cards faster than everyone else. Anytime I have a good conversation with an individual, business card. Hi, network. You never know what doors business cards have opened up. I have done business transactions, business dealings. I have become friends. I've traveled to my passengers and vice versa. So thanks to those business cards, which I print as much as I can and I get out as much as I can, it's opened up endless doors. Okay. Next point. It's number 10, by the way. How to determine the peak driving times in your city based on data. In the beginning, take screenshots. Okay, what happens in this area at 8 o'clock in the morning? Screenshot. Okay, now afternoon, I'm over here downtown, take another screenshot. Where are the busy? Where are the surges? Where are the prime times at this? That data, that accumulation of all those screenshots that you take as you bounce around the city are going to give you such crucial data to show you where you need to be at what time. Say no more, my friends. So I'm sorry, leaning over here because the sun's going down and I'm going to even make it faster. I'm going to rush it even faster. But data, analyzing screenshots, analyzing your surge and your prime times brings you more money. We move on to point 11, which is prime time and surges. You truly need to know when it surges in your city. You need to know when it's bright pink on prime time and dark red on surge, right? That again, historically, is based on data. Know where to be when. Okay, you will make more money. Next point, number 12, how to maximize your income at music or concert events. For example, I love Coachella, Stagecoach, all of those big concerts. Why? Huge crowds, huge surges. You just have to know your schedules, look at all your websites. For example, in LA, Amphitheater, you have the Forum, you have the Microsoft Theater, you have the Staples Center, you have the Greek Theater, you have the Wilton. You just have to know their websites and what events are going on and when those events end. When those events end, you need to be there 15 minutes in advance, right? And then you need to know when to hit the surges. So music events mean money, I can tell you that. Next one, point 13, sports events. Sports events mean big cash. Okay. If I'm at the Staples Center in Los Angeles and I know the basketball game is on and I know they're down to the third quarter and then move on to the fourth quarter, I want to be ready there by the beginning of the fourth quarter because I want to hit that surge as those thousands of people come out, right? It goes to multiple 3 or 4 surge. I'm going to make the same money with one trip versus 4 trips. So sports events, baseball events, football events, tennis events, Indian Wells, wherever it is, whatever's going on, pro golf events, you want to be there. You want to look at the websites. You want to hit them at the right time. Okay. Number 14. This is a bit of an interesting one. A lot of people suffer from anxiety, right? They're just too scared to go out on that first trip. Or they've taken several trips and they take a week or 2 weeks rest, and then they get a lot of anxiety getting into the car and they start making excuses. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start the next day. Every day you're losing right there because of your anxiety, you are losing cash, right? So the way I counter that, and I sometimes do a little bit of one-on-one with my drivers when they're slacking off, and I say, hey, what's wrong, buddy? Why are you not driving? I let them voice their excuses, okay? And then I just say, listen, get out there. You're fully worthy, okay? You cannot screw up, okay? The worst thing you're going to get is a bad rating. Start driving, okay? You got to get out there and you got to get rid of your excuses as to why you don't want to drive, okay? Counter that, look at that closely, why you're making those excuses, and get going. So now the Uber and Lyft rewards, ladies and gentlemen, your code, the guarantees that you get, that you sign up other drivers, you get these guarantees and these rewards, they're worth a lot of money, right? You want to promote your code. I will go into that in a little bit later. You also want to tell your passengers, hey, if you have some friends, here are some of my cards. If they use the code, they can get up to $20 on their next trip if they don't have an Uber account, right? It's like giving your passenger a gift or 4 or 5 cards. They can hand it out to their friends. Hopefully one of those 5 people sign up and you see another reward in your invite box. They will be smiling because they got $20 off their trip. When I took my first Uber trip, it was $27. I had a $20 coupon. I only paid $7. I felt fantastic. I felt very appreciative towards the person that actually gave me that coupon. So hand out those coupons. Don't hold back here, guys. Okay. So now, if you have enough money, and I get asked this question a lot, and you can buy, because you have great credit, you can buy a minivan, or you can buy a Prius, or you can buy an SUV. Why not lease it out? Okay. Those vehicles are commodities, right? They're like apartments. You can rent them out, right? Drivers pay top dollars for those. Why? Because many of those get declined at Hertz and an enterprise or through the leasing program, and that's where you can pick them up at a premium price and rent out these vehicles. You have to have a good legal contract in place, ladies and gentlemen. Point number 18, why not start your own limo company? After 2 years, I started my own limo company. I got my TCP licenses, and I was getting in so many leads. I was leasing my cars out to Uber drivers that the overflow of leads that I couldn't cater to, I started handing to my drivers, right? That is the power of a limo company. You can make the maximum use of your vehicle, okay? You should register a limo company and register an LLC. You drive with Uber, you drive with Lyft, and you drive private clients. You're maximizing your income, okay? Now, point number 19, I'm now getting so many leads through my system, my referral system, that I can't satisfy all my customers. I now start farming out those trips to my drivers. Okay, if I'm handing $100 trip to my driver because I have something going on, then okay, I want a 20% commission from that trip, right? I get 20, he gets 80, but I am giving him or her that client. That's what I do with my limo company, right? I have a lot of clients. I've marketed into all of these areas of Hidden Hills, Calabasas, Thousand Oaks, all the high-end areas. And when I get bookings that I cannot satisfy, I then ship them out to my drivers, but I take a 20% premium. That adds up to a lot of extra money each week, ladies and gentlemen. Number 20. Please set up all your social media. There is no excuse to not have a YouTube channel. There is no excuse to not have a Twitter account. There is no excuse to not have a Facebook page. Your code, your name, right, needs to be everywhere, okay? Get it out there. Talk about your city. Talk about Las Vegas. Talk about the hotels. Make videos. Tweet about it, okay? Create Create videos that you can then embed in your Facebook channel, right? You want to get that code out, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to also advertise the fact that you drive, especially if you also own that limo company, that you actually offer trips at very, very good discount prices. For example, a lot of my clients, if they do 5 trips, they'll get the 6th trip for free. Okay, so because of all the social media, because of all the ways that I am marketing my limo company, marketing Lyft, marketing Uber, I'm getting in the leads, right? If I cannot satisfy the lead, go back to point 18, I am shipping out that lead to another driver and I'm getting 20%. Your social media marketing is so powerful. I explain it in so much detail at the Rideshare Driving School.com, and I'm going to give you 2 discount codes right here. The first discount code is for the one that has all the courses. You get 25% off with code RDS25. The individual courses, I also have a code 25% off, RDSB for boy, RDSB. Okay, so you'll get instant 25% off. I explain in such great detail all my recipes on social media, everything you need to be doing to maximizing your earnings. Okay, it is not, ladies and gentlemen, just hands on the wheel. I've walked you through 20 different ways you can put more money in your pocket. If you have other questions, ladies and gentlemen, based on this video, hey Torsten, I didn't understand point 14, or can you elaborate on point number 9? I will do that. People know that I always get back to my base, to the subscribers. I love the people in my channel. I care about them. No negativity, please. If I get some, very, very seldom do I get really horrible trolling messages, I block and delete them. That's it. I don't have to deal with that energy. But 99.9% of my people in my channel are awesome. We talk, we're friends, we share feedback, and whatever I can help you with these 20 points, whatever question you may have, please, Torsten's there for you. You have my email, you have my number, you can text me. I will get back to you at the end of the day. Love you guys and drive safe. Take care.